It's a Shafere. Welcome to yet another edition of the Changeroom, where we basically bring in the most insightful commentary of sports. I think that's how I'm going to change everything up right now. And we're talking nothing else but sports. Like I did say, my name is Sbu Zulu, and I have a brother that I hate to love and love to hate. Sometimes I almost said Tembelani Poli, but like it's Tibs Dhlomo.
Yes.
How's it, Tibs?
Yeah, we're here, fam. We are so here.
Yeah.
It is winter. We are cold. But we have survived, fam.
Yes, it's level something. Now we are out of the house.
We're living. We're living now. The streets need to see us again. We are here. We are super excited to see you guys again.
Yeah.
And we have a lot to talk about because like we're in the best part of the year.
Yes.
Winter is coming to an end. It is coming through. We're all preseason fixtures.
Yep.
We're 2 weeks away from all the soccer starting
Yes.
again. We are here and we are available.
Exactly.
But I think we have to start off.
Yep.
Because we have to start off.
We have to.
With it, the British and Irish Lions. For the first time in open era, it is 1-1 going into the final and third test match.
The most thrilling final we'll ever see.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
To date. Let's get into it though.
No, but before we get into it, it's like the second test we won. Whoop, whoop.
Yes.
We'll analyze that game.
Yeah.
It was surrounded with controversy going into this.
Yes.
Because Rassie Erasmus, I don't know if you guys are going to go watch on YouTube.
You have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
Okay. He said a 60-minute, people call it rant.
1 hour.
I say commentary. 60 minutes.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah,
that is good.
because rant is a bit shaky, but a 60-minute commentary on the first test.
Yeah.
And there were like 27 clips of where he thought the referee was.
Got it wrong.
Yeah.
Literally. Got it wrong. Yeah.
So go watch that, and that shooted the whole build up to the second test.
Yes.
So I want to ask for your sake.
Yeah.
Do you think that A,
Yep.
the ref was to blame for the first test?
Okay.
And B, is it relevant or should coaches be able to put O's on blast like that in the media?
Starting with B, the most important thing is that for World Rugby to make sure that the sports itself remains to be the sports and the core of the sports remains intact is to literally have guys who have the kahunas to make sure that they challenge the norm. That video was so much necessary than our first test because we lost that one and it was literally rubbish. And besides that, I mean, so many calls were missed on that game, right? And you can't have someone in the like I did say the other time, one of the most exciting sort of like fixtures in World Rugby calendar. And you don't want that to happen like that. You want it to finish like that, where someone is not happy with some of the calls. And some of the calls could be like 3, but that was more than 3, right? And all the citing that did not even come up until the second one, with honestly, the only sighting that was there, it was St. Clair, which we all missed.
Yeah.
We all missed. Not the knee on Veleru.
Damon
Delendi, sorry. Or the biting on Veleru. So that was necessary. And it sort of like set the tone to where the second test might go.
Yeah.
Because it could have done 2 things. It could have made the game sort of like shift the momentum to our side.
Yeah.
Or we could have lost the game through Rassie ranting as per the Europeans.
Commentary.
Yes. Rassie's commentary. But as per the Europeans, it's he was ranting.
Yes,
it was so necessary because I'm sure 90% of World Rugby supporters, they agree with what Rassie was talking about. And he did that on purpose because he knew all the rules and everything. And when he dissected everything, he said, all I know is this is the rule, but maybe we're wrong. Okay, then you move on to another thing. So it was really necessary. What do you think?
No, I fully agree with you. And I think what we have to get into a place of, because I think it's just for everybody. Everybody doesn't like criticism. I don't know why. I don't know.
Yeah.
People must understand that the one thing that I will disagree with, but I do feel like he did go a little bit over the mark where he seemed to put it all on the referee. Like I did feel,
but it was on the referee. But it was on the referee.
Yeah, I know, but like
Nick Perry. Yeah, he was asleep on Sunday.
But then what I do agree with the whole thing of is it's how we've gotten VAR, it's how we've gotten goal line technology, it's how we've got the review system in cricket. Of if you don't complain, you won't. The rules won't change, right? Because the rules weren't being correctly adhered to in the thing.
The existing rules, by the way.
Yeah, the
existing rules, yeah.
And I think that's how it happened. Like if you even look at Premier League soccer, in the first 8 games of the last Premier League season, it was the most handballs penalties ever
penalties,
given.
yes.
And then they complained, they saw the rules, and then they changed them again. And then it was a better season. And those type of things mustn't be labeled as, witch hunt, Rassi's complaining because we lost. I'm like, no, the British and Irish Lions played a good game.
Yes,
but
second half, by the way.
Yeah, second half.
Yeah.
But then you'll get to that. But then I think the thing that rant did do, especially for the second test, was the ref for the second test was man of the match, bruh. There was, in my hand, in my mind.
Wait, you feel like he favored us?
No. In terms of a different ref could have refed that second test very differently.
Okay.
But I think what Rassi did do, like you said, when he was manning the laws and everything, is he made sure that it was apparent that this is a very big fixture and it can't be turned by somebody's refereeing decisions. And I felt like the ref understood that in the second game, which I don't think he would have had in the back of his mind doing maybe. But because he did that, I definitely feel like he refed the game extremely well. There were a lot of things that could have gone very badly. But he decided, no, this is a very big occasion.
Yes.
Let me referee the occasion. Let me referee the incident.
The incidents.
That's the thing, because that's where Rassi was focusing on, is that different instances were given different preferences depending on the team that was complaining.
Do you feel, though, that because there were instances during the second test whereby they could have went either way?
Yeah.
Obviously, do you perhaps feel like the Rassi video influenced what happened in the second test? Maybe in the first test, we could have, or they or us could have gotten away with.
Oh no, 110%. But like that's what happens with all, like you see it in even soccer, just because that's the main thing. Of also be like, hey bro, why does this team get more penalties than others? Why does Man United do so well at Old Trafford? Why do they get so many 50-50 decisions? People, managers say that and do that. So in the ref's mind, that's already happening. So if Rashford goes down, the ref has to be 110% sure, because he knows that if it's a 50-50 decision, he's going to be like, maybe. And then because he knows if he gives a penalty, that's what the guy's going to talk about at the end of the game.
True.
So I think it's a tactic that he utilized that I just think it's new to rugby. But I think I've seen it in a lot of, especially in football, I've seen that being called a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So I think, yes, 110%, because it's going to play on his mind.
You asked a good question about, is it a good thing that Rassi did that? Because now, in football, because you make obviously an example of with football, when coaches call out referees, they get fined.
Yeah.
And World Rugby for a lot of times have been known to protect the referees, and you can't say anything. Now, how does that now, moving forward, because you're now going to the end of the year tour, does it do good for the sport itself, or is it a bad thing that coaches can now say things like that? I'm literally asking you what you asked me earlier.
I know.
So I want to find out from you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is where the sports should go. Sports in general, not just rugby.
Yeah.
If I feel I'm not so content with certain decisions, there should be a room for everyone to go. And let's say it happened on Saturday, and Tuesday, let's meet up, let's go over it. And then if there was a red card appeal, if we all agree that this was not intentional or this was not so conclusive, then, let's amend or do some other things.
Yeah, no. The thing is, I will say that maybe the public on YouTube type of situation was maybe just the step too far.
Yeah.
But I think it needed that first step and that conversation to happen. In hindsight, what should happen, and I think, because I'm not fully sure, but I'm pretty sure that this is how it happens, is after every game, a referee delivers a match report on all of the decisions that he made, why he made them,
we know that.
And then, so what he must do is, every game that gets sent to the South African Rugby Union, whoever rugby union is playing, and now by Monday or Tuesday, they can compete or validate, dissect that rule or that rule, and then the ref also then can get charged for making the indecision. And that happens all the time in the Premier League, where you see the ref get sacked from being a Premier League ref for the next month or something and goes in refs championship. I think there needs, there's a huge protection on refs, which is, as I said, the media is not the place to have this public opinion fight, but I definitely think that people need to be accountable. Because if Rassie loses,
Yes.
he gets sacked.
He gets sacked,
If,
yes.
if players make mistakes,
They
go
get
play Curry
sold.
Cup.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
everyone needs to have, there needs to be a cause and effect. Like, but
Yes,
what I
true.
will say about the Nick Berry refereeing situation, I've seen a lot worse refereing in the Springboks, and the ref is go ref the next game, fine.
Yeah.
And I think that's also why maybe you said it was a bit under the but I've seen a lot worse, but it shouldn't be I've seen a lot worse. It should be we should get a standard that's better.
We're always trying to improve.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the match itself.
Yeah,
though.
so let's talk about the match. So for me, I wanted to ask you, in terms of the match, both teams made 3 changes from the first test. Obviously the Sharks not the Sharks, the Springboks made 2 changes up front, one forced because I never knew Ox was injured.
He was.
But Ox was injured, so you made 2 changes in the front row. Then we brought in your boy Jasper that you said.
Of course, he came in at 8.
British and Irish Lions obviously made 3 changes, and I'll say one of the changes which I never understood. Ali Price, the scrum half from I don't understand. For me, he was British and Irish Lions, in my opinion, one of the best players in the first test.
That's
so
true.
I don't understand why you were subbed, and I think it was a major point. But yeah, so do you agree with the changes, and do you think they impacted us winning the second test?
And I'll be honest with you. Speaking of the changes in the front row, we made 2 changes. We retained Bonambi, and this was my reaction to the squad was before I knew that Ox was injured.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Because I felt like we made a mistake. In the first test, we took out the entire front row, which I felt like for the first time they were able to compete in terms of the scrumming and the mauling, and they were able to do that. They struggled when they played the SA side, second place team in the world. SA side. They struggled there until and only Malheba came in and he stabilized the thing. In the first, that was in the SA side rather. So when that happened in the first test, I was like, what's going on here? And that, sort of like, what are the reasons that contributed to us losing? Definitely, without a doubt. However, they made those changes. Vista came in. I think Malheba also started. And Kitsoff also started.
50th match.
Yes, 50th on his 50th. Yes, and then they put in a decent chef, not so impactful for me. Kitsoff, yes, did well. Maybe 60% of 100 did well, not so bad. But also credit has to be given. I think this entire test. The second one actually, to be honest, the second match, I think credit has to go to Damien Vielemse and Lucanio Am. Forget about the other aspects of the game. I think for us, when we have the ball in hand and when we're going forward, I think those guys were very impactful. And if we are to tap into the defense side of ours, Lucanio Am was good, was on the money. I don't know a better pairing. And I say a better pairing, I'm talking about in every position right now in the world that is better than Lucanio Am and Damien Vielemse. If you want to challenge that, comment section below is for you. I don't think there is any. I swear to whoever created us. And the best thing about it, I'm not trying to be religious, if I say God, then, no. So the best thing about it is that we saw what we did wrong. On the first half, bit cagey, touch and go here and there, but the Oaks did well. Obviously, I mean, I did say this to people, like, if you have someone like, Cheslin Kobe, you want him on the ball most of the time. But then, only that, remember what I told you that I never like to question anything that has Rassie Erasmus in it because he's proven me wrong a lot of times. And it has worked because Cheslin hasn't had a lot of, play or ball in hand to try and maneuver around to be the Cheslin that we know. And that could be a tactic on its own. People will look into Cheslin only to forget that we have a finisher, Makazuli Mapimpi. He has your Lucanio Am who can help him out. So that's another pairing. That's all of like sort of pay as position. But they complement each other very well. So I felt like we got a lot of things right, and thanks to Razzie's video, that created a lot of made a lot of difference. I fully agree with you. Like for me, the thing is with our first test, and I think the main issue, and it's the main issue that I felt was that they never allowed us to play our game.
And I thought that was I thought the British and Irish Lions played that very well.
Right.
In the first half, we played really well. I would even lie. British and Irish Lions, we were destroying them. But what I really liked the British Irish Lions did in the second half, which was there were many times that I felt like they tried to win the game and we tried to consolidate the game.
Yes.
Which was why even like the three. But
it's literally that's rugby for you. I mean, you're leading 12-3. It's a big fixture. You know, 12-3. You want to let's get a penalty and try and kick a thing some more.
And that's why I love that the British Irish Lions said like, no, we're gonna attack you guys now.
Yeah.
And instead of us like, it's just a saying that the only try we scored in the first test was when okay, cool. Peter's left a tight pizza man, and you give Mapimpi space on the wing to run with ball in hand. That was the only try we scored, and that's why I said we never got to see enough of that. Where the British Irish Lions, their kicking game was on fire. And I think that Bigger and Prince just absolutely epitomized that, which is why I definitely think that in the second test, like we never had an episode last week, I would have said something else, but I was proven wrong by Rassie Erasmus.
Yes.
Where I would have...
Exactly. You will learn from me. I promise you will learn from me.
I will say this.
Learn from me.
I'm so glad we never had an episode last week. Because now it'd be egg on my face, bro.
Exactly.
It'd be egg on my face, falling on the floor.
Yeah.
Because I would have said something completely different. I said you have to learn to neutralize the England attack by then maybe playing Damien Willemse or Pile Fassi as a wing to help with the fullback to understand it's up and under. But they know. They're like, no, actually, forget you. We're like, forget you guys.
Yeah.
We're going to put 6 forwards on the bench.
6?
We're going to put 6 forwards on the bench. Ooh. We're going to be like, no, we're going to run now.
I lost my mind actually when I saw that. I lost my mind.
We're like, no, you know what? We're going to run now. We're like, cool. We're going to play our tactic and we're going to do what we do better.
Yeah.
And that's something that I really have to say well done to the Springbok team. Because I was wrong, and then you look at all of our tries, which I love, which is that now there was a nuance and a difference.
Yes.
There was a difference of, we realized we can't play our normal tactic, so we played what we did, but then we added some flair. With the cross kicks, with the grubbers. I've never seen grubbers in my life.
Faf!
Where are we grubbering from?
It was there.
I've never
Andre Pollard was also there. And actually, when Andre took that grabber, I thought it was going to go for like a drop goal.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to go. I swear to whoever created us was going to do that. But then he got that right on the money. Like that worked really well.
And you can see it as a tactic because, like you said, you thought it was a drop goal. So he was deep. So for him to be deep, Mapimpi had to be deeper than him. So I'm like, it was clearly, that's why I said we did what we do better.
Yes.
And then we added stuff that we don't usually do.
Yep. Yep.
And that's why I have to give top quality.
Jacques
you proved us. You proved me wrong.
And
congratulations. I support you. In Rassie we trust. In the Springboks we are here.
And Jacques, bro. People don't understand. Like, this is what Rassie said when they were questioning. They said something like Rassie is busy making videos. Who's coaching the box? I'm like, he's not a box coach.
He's not the box coach.
Jacques Naba is a box coach, and he got that, and he's on the money, and everything worked well. Well, actually, I need to correct myself. I actually believed in all of you. Technical team, he didn't. So
no.
He didn't.
Okay, cool. I would have done something differently, but you proved me why you have your.
But let's move on to the final test.
So final test.
Dane Vermeulen is back.
Dane Vermeulen is
back. So before you go any further, I want to know. Jesper Visser for me, yes, he came in. I didn't really. For me, I wasn't. He could have done better. We started Kwacha in the first one. Obviously, we all know how that happened.
Yeah.
Do you go for Dane Vermeulen or do you save him for when you play Argentina? What's your take?
And my take, I think Dwayne should be on the bench.
Okay.
I think it's a very, because we've seen how both games start. Yeah. Both games are very cagey in the first half. Both teams, and it's always the substitutes and what happens in the second half that makes the biggest difference.
Yes.
So I definitely think that in that element, I think you can get a good 30 minutes out of Dane Vermeulen.
Makes sense.
And kill it. Instead of asking him to play a full 60, 70-minute shift and hoping to carry the team. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think he has to be in the 23, but I definitely think he should be one of the two,
bomb squad.
One of the two bomb squadders.
Okay.
Suicide squad.
Here we go.
But so I definitely think, for the third test, I believe it's the same way. I think whichever team plays their tactic the best will win.
No, so in a sense of changes, right? Because I also want you guys to also talk about this one. In terms of do we need to make any changes? Because I mean, if you went by 27-9 or something, or 20 plus points to 9 against the British and Irish Lions, how many changes do you make in the squad?
I will maybe.
How much do you influence the starting 15?
I don't think. I think if anything, you'll make one change.
By the way, though,
it'll probably be no.
I feel like that's been our casualty.
Yeah,
because we had Vesa and Kwafa.
Yeah, it's going to be either 8 or it's going to be one of the front rowers. Just maybe start with Malcolm Marx.
Okay.
Maybe you know what I'm saying.
Malcolm Marx is better when he comes in
off the bench. Yeah, no, but I think if anything, no one will change in the back line for sure.
Definitely.
The back line will stay the same.
Yeah.
Obviously, Peter Steph Toit, the locks will stay the same.
Yeah.
Khaleesi's captain.
Yeah.
Khaleesi's captain. So if anything, there'll be a change. One of the front rowers will come off the bench.
Yeah.
And it's at 8. I think that's about it.
Would you change the front row? The one we started with? Malherbe, Kitsoff, and Bonambi.
I wouldn't. I would maybe not put Hakanya on the bench and play Thomas du Toit.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing I would do. But yeah, otherwise I think very limited changes. I definitely think if British Irish Lions, when they compete, they have to play Prince
Cheapers, man.
and Daly because they are better.
Oh, Elliot Daly, yes.
With the ball in their hands, kicking
and kicking too,
so much better. They have to go with their strengths. Both teams need to go with their strengths and try.
Do you start Farrell? Do you drop Stuart Hogg?
Maybe Hogg, but Bigger has been catalyst for them. I think Bigger has been really strong.
Yeah, he has been good.
Maybe Farrell can start at fullback or centre because I know that
he's a utility back.
I know he's utility.
Yeah.
He can maybe play it inside. He can maybe play inside or fullback because I know he's played there before. But Bigger has been very important to how they attack.
True, actually. How was Nyakane when he came in, though, eh?
Hey,
how was Nyakane?
But he was, and I don't like. He's always been. I don't like. He's always had a very turbulent time with the Springboks.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but as an impact player, though.
Yeah. As an impact player,
he did well.
Yeah.
Okay, so
no. So then, at home, tell us who you think's done well. British and Irish Lions, who's done the things, and then final call, who's taking it, Springboks or British and Irish Lions?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, for the Boks, obviously, but it's gonna be tricky because now we've paid so much attention on what we can do, right?
Yep.
Forgetting that the Lions themselves, they do have a few, like you say, you talk about Elliot Daly. He can come in, you know, and stabilize everything. Yeah. So obviously, while we were recording this, the lineup is not out. So maybe by the time you see this, you would have a better perspective of what you're talking about. But we still want to know who you think will take it. But I do believe, obviously, the Boks.
Prove me wrong again, fam. I'm here. Show me that you're the greatest. Show us you're the greatest.
Let's go here.
Yeah,
let's go right here.
Yeah, let's go right here.
Man. Do you want to zoom there? No, you can't. Okay.
Okay. So my favorite time of the year, guys. This is my favorite. It's been a great time in the world because I went last level 3. So we're allowed to have some calling black label.
Here we go.
So we're responsible. So remember, 18 years old, you have to be drinking.
Yeah, I mean,
you have to be responsible.
Yeah,
you have
18,
to be 18
responsible.
Years old. I'm just putting it out there in case they want to sponsor us. You know, it all comes together with the castle. Just product placing, calling black label. We are the champions of the world. But the team that are the champions, and we've actually been doing this a lot. But I actually realized where the issue is. Kaizer Chiefs must just hire their fans as their coach because they can win trophies now.
It's working.
Yeah, so obviously the big pre-season tournament, calling black label, annual
yes.
calling black label
Cup.
pre-season tournament cup between Orlando Pirates and Chiefs. But then the young difference is the fans pick the starting lineup and the substitutes.
Yes.
I think
the man of the match too. I think so.
And man of the match too. Yeah. So then the fans are involved. Like the coaches are the fans as they watch how you coach their team better than them.
Better than them.
And so then Kaizer Chiefs, I'll say off the bat, both teams played terribly.
That's terrible, actually. That's true. I'm happy you said that.
We'll start off the bat and say both teams are very firmly in preseason.
Yeah.
Both teams are very much got a lot of work in the next 2 weeks if they want to challenge Sundowns for the title.
Yep.
But what I will say that the Kaizer Chiefs fans especially did, that was very surprising because I think both teams have the same issue of they have 3 number 1 keepers, but they haven't been good enough to be a number one for the level of club they're at.
Maybe for Chiefs, they do have an upper hand, brother. Maybe Chiefs have an upper hand.
Yeah.
Not us.
Yeah, but that's why I said all three of those keepers could play for any PSL team, but a majority of them, yeah. A majority of the PSL teams. And Kaizer Chiefs fans made some very surprising choices, right?
Well, you talk about surprising.
Yeah.
I was, honestly speaking, it was surprising at certain degrees. I mean, I know Ramasho was starting, which was very weird, but he started and they were able to sustain Pirates. Because coming into the game, Pirates were sort of like the favorites, right? Because they had a better position at the end of the season in the table. They have a cup, MTN champions. But when it came to playing, I feel like it pains me to say this, right? It pains me to say this. But Kaizer Chiefs right now, they should be pleased with their team.
Oh, yeah.
They should be very happy with the direction that looks like it's coming their way. They're not going on the direction, the direction is coming their way. Because they're in high spirits, they make good signings. And, you know, on the day, they played really well. Yes, they missed the penalty.
Yeah.
They should have maybe like closed the game very early in the 90th minute, in the 90 minutes, or within the 90 minutes. But they were unable to do that. But they also went on to, you know, win the game. Peterson, the goalkeeper, you know, was a hero on the day.
Very surprising.
I know with Ofori, he's not good with penalties.
They only saved the one in injury time. I mean, in the game.
In the game, but he's
not a penalty. Yeah.
Out of 5, he will maybe see one and then like, hey, son, it was close.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know what, the sense, because I don't want to say a lot of things because we cannot take anything from that.
Yeah.
There's 2 weeks before we start the MTN 8. They're playing Sundowns, and it's going to be a tricky task for them, of course. However, what I've literally, the general sort of like of information that I got from that is that Kaizer Chiefs are literally not in a bad route. In how they were playing. And they should be excited with the young players that they have. You know, Sbu Zulu was man of the match.
He was fantastic.
He was fantastic, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And Pirates supporters, if you are honest with yourself, you were going to vote for that boy. Because he was good. I feel like he was good. You know, they have your Mashianes. So this is supposed to be the sort of like a football thing. You couldn't sign players last season. You've had the whole season to build the players you have. Remove the ones you don't want, your Katandes and whatever, your Zulus and whatever, and bring in new players to try and fit into this squad that is here right now. Kaizer Chiefs should have the most exciting squad in the next season or even the next 2 seasons.
And
I'm banging my drum.
And I'm like, and I fully agree. I fully agree with everything that you said. I definitely think for both teams, there's a keeper debate that needs to be had realistically and honestly. And I genuinely think they need to pick one because I think Kunis, I know he made some good saves, but I'm like, I do think that it's time now, like you said with Kaizer Chiefs, like you have 2 very good young keepers in the wings. Like I definitely think it's time that Kaizer Chiefs start transitioning away from that, like you said, and pushing forward. For Pirates,
you said transition. That's Stuart Bester is back. You know, he's the first person who came with the whole transition. That's counter-attack. That's all you know. Counter-attack, Chiefs.
So
that's a counter-attack.
So for me, I think Pirates are in bigger issues and bigger troubles. But we'll discuss that once the season starts.
I said Jane.
But it was still a very interesting format. But so I do have to
because I need to wear here. This is my beater behind us, right? Just next to it, there's another curling cup happening with the curry cup and the Sharks and the Griquas.
The Sharks and the Griquas. They were living. No, they were living. Because all the top teams, because the Lions are bottom of the league.
Yes.
The Lions are bottom of the league, and it's very surprising is that surprising to you?
For me,
that the Pumas and the Griquas are seeming to be able to compete with
honestly
traditional
speaking,
teams, traditional.
Honestly speaking, when it comes to the Griquas, I'm not surprised because I know with the Sharks, the Griquas, like the Sharks cannot beat the Griquas. Like they struggle. Even if they do, it's like finer margins. They always. And plus, it was at home. I remember when we still had the fans. What's his name? The then coach Van Rensburg. I forgot his name, but his last name is like Van Rensburg. The Sharks took him from the Griquas to come and join the Sharks.
Yeah.
But still, the Griquas are still beating us. They are still beating us, right?
Yeah.
So the Griquas, I'm really not shocked. Pumas, not shocked. Sigma Lions, they've been at the bottom for the longest time, ever since it was COVID, and ever since Suez de Brain left the Lions, and they sort of like went down, and after that it was just downward from then on. And I mean, it has never really worked well for them. So even with right now, they are one of the big 4 franchises in South Africa, which they are obviously we're all going with them in the United Rugby Championship or the Pro 16. We're going with them in the new month. However, with the Lions, I'm not shocked. They really haven't done much. The great thing that they've done is to produce Jordan Hendricks' brother, Jordan. It's Jordan. Yes.
Jordan.
So that's the only thing that they did. And I haven't seen anything else after that. Elton Yankees left for Japan or something. A season ago, whatever the case was. So it has been downward spiral for them. So I'm not really shocked. However, I am shocked at the fact that, on paper, the Sharks shouldn't be losing to any team besides the Bulls.
Yep.
On paper.
Yep.
But then we couldn't beat 12 men. Between in the space of 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
We couldn't beat them.
Yep.
We couldn't crack it.
Nope.
Only one try nyana, maybe 2 nyana here and there, and that just goes to show just to wrap it up,
we've been saying this for a long time that the Sharks don't have a lot of, we have depth, but
a lot of it's by the way.
They have a lot of depth, but we question the types of players that do come in, especially in the backline. I think especially in the backline. I definitely think we know where we could go with this. We've been through this. We've been through this in the past 2019 episodes that we've been doing. We know where the issues are. So we're not I think it'll be redundant for us to carry on going.
Yeah, no, that's true.
But it's the reason that we always say the Sharks always play the same backline.
Yep.
There's always maybe one change on the one wing, and then that's it.
And that's Werner moving around between the back line, and that's Werner moving around.
And it's because we have a lot of depth, but there's something amiss there. I will make it more when we get to when we win the final, who wins the cup. Then we can have a bigger thing. But for that, we're going to be saying the same thing. I think we'll be saying the same
However,
thing.
I do feel like we've reached a point when it comes to the Sharks, we've reached a point where we've been too redundant that maybe we should start talking about how the Bulls have been good.
Yeah.
And how the Griquas have, seem like punched above their weight, but they are really good.
Okay, actually, no, that's very true.
Sharks continuing to sign all these players and not doing anything. True. We've signed that boy from the UJ before these 3 players that we signed recently.
True,
that driller who's a loose forward. Fast is big, but he hasn't been playing. And then now we only signed, I think we signed one player from the Griquas who was playing against us.
Yeah.
I mean,
actually, I think that's a new thing. Yeah, the Sharks, we can take a break and know these guys. Because literally the same thing. We can't talk about Werner Koch running like he does all the time.
Sideways.
So then, if everybody doesn't know, it's the Olympics, guys.
Yes.
It's the Olympics. Just so you guys know, South Africa have won 3 medals. We've won a gold and I think 2 silvers.
Probably.
Gold and 2 silvers.
Not too sure.
All in the pool, which is great. It's super
Indian
great.
Ocean, now it's working. Well done.
Our Indian Ocean, our water. But then there's been a huge debate when it comes to the Olympics, especially for South African competitors.
Yes.
Which is there's a financial element that happens to it where not a lot of our sports are government funded.
Yes.
So for a lot of the teams that are there
Sponsors.
in the team element, they are either self-funded, crowd-funded, or sponsor-funded.
Yeah.
They're not government funded. And we are very and we have to discuss is that a thing that is an issue in South Africa?
No, definitely it is. I mean, imagine if the government would actually fund into some of the sports. Imagine if we just broaden our horizon and have more sports there, create such a lot of chances. Look at flipping Japan, bro. Flipping hell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was talking to this other time. Yes, I know this is out of the sort of the context, but Argentina, they're slowly rising. They're no longer known as a football nation or Maradona and Messi's. Rugby, you get them there. You know what I'm saying? So you're talking about and they are there. You know, a few other sports that are coming right there. So we need to be able to have a government that would fund other sports and literally don't talk about talking about building hubs that would not even feed into any franchise here in only in the province. Don't talk about the hubs in Khayelitsha or wherever the case is, whereby a few years later it won't happen. You need to be able to invest money whereby you have a mandate that 2 years from now, you need to have at least one player in sort of like an academy or something of whatever club or franchise, whatever the case is, whatever sports that is. So we have a huge, literally, because now with the finance, it cripples the development. Because you can have, we could be talented right now to play maybe water polo because we've been rubbish today. We've been sucking there. We could be talented, but obviously not knowing the structures and everything, you wouldn't know. Unless you go to a multiracial school where you have to pay or you have to have what do you call these things? What do you call this?
Scholarships.
Scholarships, yes. Yeah. When you have those scholarships, only then now you get exposed to those sports, and that is rubbish for a developing country that has so much. I mean, we can't be so bad in water when we had people like Penny Haynes. What is Penny Haynes doing right now?
Yeah, no. I see
it's not Penny Haynes' fault. Trust you me. It's not a Penny Haynes thing. It's not a aquatic South Africa thing. Sports. Fans can't go to the stadiums right now because whatever sport decided that we can't go to the stadiums right now. We're understanding it's the pandemic, true. But where are you putting all the money in? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, and I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna agree with you and say that is the issue that people aren't willing to understand. If you actually look at it, how our government funding actually works, it doesn't actually benefit the sport. Even in our really good sports, we can go
rugby.
Like you look at rugby, like we look at that whole team of okay, cool. The fact of why is it that our whole backline doesn't play sport in South Africa? But then all of those people in that team, even if they came from like a rural background, they got scholarships to really good schools.
Yes.
Siya Kolisi went to Great Bloom. You know what I'm saying?
Makazoli, and
they're all. So it's the school system that people, if they went to a good private school, then greatness. But then they went to a good government school that's funded by other people that make sure that the rugby is good at the school.
Come on.
And that is what makes them good at. That's what makes them good at rugby. That's what makes them good at cricket.
Yes.
And I think that's the issue of. But we are spending so much money. We have ministers of sports. But there's no feeder program of cool. We're getting there now with varsity sports and high school sports, trying to get them
that's a good feeder program, by the way. With varsity sports.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
But that's for those sports. Like you can't want us to compete on the global level. Because I know my one friend did play water polo, but everything was self-funded. He had to get a scholarship to Thomas More. He had to get you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then he still had to pay for himself. He created his own water polo academy up in Hillcrest. Like he's trying, but like there was no help from the government.
He can only get so far.
But they send us like imagine us being good at five-a-side soccer, then decide, we're going to do it by ourselves and then go play Messi at the World Cup. We're going to lose.
You're going to lose.
We're going to lose, guys. We're going to lose. But
obviously, this obviously, because I don't want us to spend much more time on this one because this is a topic that really needs a lot of time.
Yeah, it needs a lot of time.
And this is a challenge. I mean, I mean, we're sitting here today, but we obviously would love to have someone.
All of your opinions.
Exactly. Yeah. Just to, maybe we're not seeing this the way that it's supposed to be seen. So let us know on the comment section below and correct us if you may. And then we'll talk about it next week.
We'll talk about it next week. So obviously we usually do our whole segments, but there hasn't been any other sports that you'd really like to nail down on? Or
well, look, I have a few. I mean, earlier today being Tuesday, well, Monday actually. Monday, my goodness, not Tuesday. I mean, obviously, our last sort of like hope when it comes to sprints running, you're waiting for Nick. He was running in the 400 meters, he finished 5th. And obviously, I think he finished in a time of like over 50 something. So that sort of like cancels him out as a third best third best loser or fourth best loser, so he can't go to the final. That lady, what's her name? Nell. Also, also finished 5th, and it's try for us. So we can only see what's gonna happen with what do you call these guys who do artistic water sport thingy. So those guys kick off their campaign on the day, so we'll see how that goes. But as far as that, we also did have one of the most memorable Formula One races in Hungary. Esteban Ocon won his first Grand Prix since 2015, and that came in the Formula 3.
Yeah.
That was his first in Hungary. So it was an exciting, sort of like, it was beautiful. Sebastian Vettel finished second initially, but you know, it was because of the fuel samples that was used. So yeah, he actually had to drop, and got a penalty there. So Lewis Hamilton initially finished third, so he moved to second, and then Carlos Sainz, who finished fourth, moved to third. And Max Verstappen, who initially finished in the top 10, but with 1 point, it now moves to ninth. And with that being said, since Verstappen was leading for the longest time in the Drivers' Championship, Lewis Hamilton is now
back on top.
Back on top.
Back on top. No. Yeah. No, so obviously we do our segments, but we haven't had like any teams or fixtures because not a lot of teams are playing. It's only like really the British Irish Lions
and then
or
Olympics.
the Greek ones or something.
Oh yeah, the Olympics.
So we're just gonna do just MVP. So that is the most valuable player, any tournament, any sport, anything that you've done. Who has been your MVP for the week?
Why are you asking me? I'm still looking on the phone.
Oh, okay, cool. For me, it's going to be Tanja Schoonmaker, I think her name is, the swimmer.
Tatiana Schoonmaker.
Ja, Schoonmaker.
Ja.
I'll have to say... Hey, remember this Afrikaans, maar ik weet niet hoe te praten die Afrikaans getal. So yeah. So for me, she won our only gold medal, and she broke a world record and an Olympic record, which means in the world, in all 80 billion.
She is.
Come at 100 meters with the press and the stroking.
Here we go.
She will slay. She'll slay.
So actually, that's Wenda Nell, the one I was talking about earlier. Because I mean, that doesn't sound right. Not to say it.
Your MVP?
My MVP. I mean, come on. Springboks.
Okay.
No, I knew we were talking about Tatiana. Well, she did good. But Springboks coming back, bouncing back, smashing, scoring over 20 points. Irish Lions. Razi Erasmus, you also deserve something there.
MVP, my guys. No, guys. I just want to say that we are on all streaming platforms. We can follow us at the Changeroom ZA on Instagram and Facebook. We've had a great time seeing you again. We've missed you. My name is Tibs.
And I'm Sbu.
And we are the Changeroom.